Hi guys, I'm Amanda.
And I'm Janae.
And we are
Girls Go Books Deep.
We take deep dives into the fantasy and science fiction content you love the most.
And today we are going to get into Interview with the Vampire episode Dos. So excited. We've been wanting to watch it, but we've saved it for you guys to watch it live.
Seriously, that was a lot of fun the last time we did that. And I want to say thank you to everybody who watched it, who commented.
Yes.
Even if you didn't like what we were saying, I value the fact that you had a point in a lot of the things that you were saying. I do like the comments and the people who stuck around and said that they enjoyed the arc of the video, showing that we had one opinion and we ended with another.
Yeah.
That's kind of why we wanted to do this. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're very happy with that whole experience. So let's dive in again.
Yay. Oh, look at them with the... I didn't notice that before.
I think...
But it's the symbol of the saints.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the fleur de lis.
I didn't catch that before.
That's a typical symbol all over New Orleans. It's a French royalty symbol.
These men look down on you. You don't know your value. You wouldn't tell me how he did it. Don't do that here. Now we're much better. I love my brother more than anyone on earth.
Paul's in hell because of you.
Help me, please. I lay down with the devil. Be my companion.
Before we dive in, though, do you want to talk about the stuff that we were talking about last night, or no?
You're gonna have to remind me. That was the other night.
Oh, okay,
But,
yeah.
yeah.
Everything runs together. But
The days blur
Yeah.
over here. We talked about a lot of stuff. So
True. But I've just been thinking a lot about how because people in the comments did have a good point, and it's not no, we don't want him to own slaves. That's not what I'm trying.
No. That's
No.
not. No. We don't want him to do that. But when you look at the history and the specific history of the area, it's if they're gonna go down that road, go down that road.
But what I really after reading the comments and doing some thinking, I really had not an existential moment of but I was genuinely thinking about this shit for a few days, and it was just because most people, when they see that they've changed the story that they loved when they were reading when they were younger, they get so fucking upset. And then but you have all these new people with a new perspective, and they're why do you fucking care so much? And it's just
the ongoing conversation of all of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think over the past few days, I've actually kind of understood it way better. So especially because so as a millennial, I did grow up watching reading the Harry Potter books and then going to the movie theater and seeing the movies. And yes, they did a really, really good job of capturing everything, but they weren't exact to the books and stuff like that. They did a really great job, but that's more, it's I understand where some people are I've been reading this story and I've been imagining it in my brain for so long, and now I finally have somebody giving me a physical thing that I can actually watch and enjoy, and you're taking all of the things that I supplanted in my brain and fucking moving it out of the way.
Hence why I don't read the books before. But yes, I think this stories like this is slightly different because you're in if we really break it down, we're in multiple different time periods in the fact of when it was originally written, when it became popular, then you have the movie. So there's gonna be things that are gonna be changed, and I accept those changes because now we're in a completely different climate. So many things are more acceptable, some things aren't acceptable. So it's
we don't
trying to navigate through that. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be okay with it, but
let me get over that initial like
give me that time to come to accept it. I'm gonna get there, but just like any change, it doesn't happen overnight. And you also have to understand why it's being changed and connect the dots, because there's some things where it makes 100% sense why it needs to be changed, and then there's some things where you're just like, but did that? No.
Okay, so I'm gonna say like, okay, so back to Harry Potter. Now, she didn't read the books. I was a huge book fan. It was like a family thing for me. I'm not gonna go into the long story about it or whatever, but the one scene that they never really included was the fact that like when oh crap, what's his name? I just was thinking about this a few minutes ago and I knew his name and now I can't think about it when I actually have like a live shit. The werewolf teacher.
Oh,
I keep wanting to say Lupin. Okay, I was gonna say Lumen. I'm like, that's not it. Okay, so Lupin, when Lupin hands the map back to Harry Potter, on it says, you know, prongs, padfoot, wormtail, all that stuff. Like, that's him and his dad and Sirius and the asshole that were all kids that created that. But he never says that in the movie. You never get this beautiful moment of like a man who truly misses one of his best friends growing up having a moment with his son and giving him a thing that like you made and like here's for the next generation, here's for you to enjoy a piece of your dad. Yeah, like this is a little piece of your dad. You never get that little beautiful moment between the two of them. And that's the only time where I was just like, the fuck is this shit? Like I needed that. But then on the other side of that spectrum, I can honestly say that like now that I'm in the middle of reading all of the Outlander books, I'm enjoying the books. They're very, very good. As well as watching the House of the Dragon series. I will say this as well. That some things about the books are really, really great, but they're kind of long-winded or they're kind of convoluted or they don't 100% line up. Like they do, but they don't. They're purposefully meant to be kind of mysterious or whatever. Or it just like it's written so your brain doesn't 100%, where the show has a beautiful way of summing things up, presenting it in a more obvious, believable, realistic manner because it has to be shown, you know? Sometimes it's better at summing shit up. Now, House of the Dragon is going at a breakneck fucking speed. But
I got some issues with House of the Dragon, but that's neither here nor there.
I have issues with it too, but there's some things about it where I'm like,
some things that they've gotten down 100%. Like,
okay,
yes,
I see you changing things from the book.
But it's okay.
I'm liking it. Liking it.
And then there's some things that they've changed that
y'all
missed the mark.
What the hell is this? Right? So, and that's the same sort of thing with Outlander. Like, the third book, while fun, was all over the place, kind of ridiculous, where the TV show, and I mean the fourth book is really damn good too, but again, they just the show has a great way of presenting all the information just as good in a beautiful art form, but summon it the fuck up. Like get it in there, you know? And I can honestly say that like the first episode for this was true to form. It was true to style. It gave. I can't say enough.
No, it took us a minute to get there, but we got there. Which is okay.
For sure. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what pilot episodes are for. Like, you gotta set up everything. So I always give TV shows, especially usually the first season, because there's so much to set up. You have to connect to the characters. They have to make sure that you're invested. So I usually give them a season and see where we go from there. But
you have to make the existing audience happy while actually capturing a whole brand new audience. So
yeah.
Hats off to AMC. That's for sure. All right, so let's go.
I also love that this title, it just looks like a mouth. Like, I noticed that before, but I was just like, they wilding with these titles right now.
It's Venetian, contemporary of Tintoretto's.
Ooh.
Marius de Rome.
I know.
Little of his work survives. Mr. de Pointdulac covets the rare.
I guarantee.
You hear that? I keep hearing that sound.
The building sways a bit, but that is according to its design given the height. We call it the groan. It won't disturb your meal, which is ready now.
Did you always work for him?
Please, have a seat.
Sign an NDA? I mean, is it only work, or are you and he...
I serve the god. It is my honor to serve. Mr. de Pointdulac will join you at course 7.
7? How many courses are there? Fattening me up for the inevitable end?
Jeez.
If someone says they're going to join me at course 7, I shut the hell up. I sit down and say, let's eat.
Yeah. I also feel like it's probably a timing thing.
They're going to bring a person in for to lay on the table or something. His face is like me. Like, I'd be like...
They being super extra with this, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, if you've got the time and the money.
You missed at least 3 or 4 endangered species.
I want to apologize for my outburst earlier. I can assure you it will not happen again.
Memory is a monster. We forget. It doesn't. This is session 2. Louis de Pointdulac. Can we turn down the music?
Bread, crushed almonds, garlic, olive oil, salt, a garnish of green grapes, and maybe negative, fresh from the farm. Bon appetit.
Fresh from the farm like an animal.
Farm.
2 vampires walk into a church. That's where we left them.
Blissing out, post-priest aside.
Bliss was merely a stage in my transformation.
Oh, yeah.
The seizing and unrelenting pain through which I would pass before my apprenticeship began.
What's happening?
Your body
is confused. Your lungs feel like water. Your heart's fire. You feel as if you're dying.
Because you are.
Yeah. I love he's like, you feel as if you're dying.
Yeah.
And it's immediate. You're hooked. And now he can treat you however the fuck he wants.
Exactly.
Without proper disposal, Mr. Venus, of a sated vampire. You know, immediately locate a graveyard nearby. So, we live off the blood of the living, lap up the blood of the deceased, and it'll suck you right down into death along with your victim.
Why is this so funny? It's not supposed to be. Fuck.
This is
The ecstasy hit.
Yep.
Oh, are you high now, baby?
Oh, yes.
Let's hit a club. Yeah. He looks like Dan.
Scott's blood was giggling inside me, teasing my senses, illuminating the district with overwhelming detail. As if I had walked my entire life as a dead man, and now, dead, could finally receive the secrets of existence.
You were fucking loaded.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, this is part of stuff I enjoy. It's like, okay, yeah, you become a vampire, but I want to almost feel the transition with you.
Right.
Like, show me what it looks like.
They barely do that in the movie.
Yeah.
The book does a good job of describing how he feels and what he's seeing. Exactly.
A young Tempranillo, flashy and tart. A primitivo, hints of iron, rather plain otherwise. A pair of oak-aged Cabernet, thick-skinned, chewy. Hunting is an art. You have the power to subdue anyone you want. But sometimes restraint is your most powerful weapon. Straight to the prettiest girl. I admire this. So you'll spend most of the evening trying to separating from his crew. You'll raise the sun for the kill, and when he turns up missing in the morning, I'll have to figure it out proud looking for him. In the beginning, it's best to let the food come to you.
Here you go. I was a baby bird in Lestat's nest, not yet ready to hunt, but desperate to feed. So I'm taking my daughter to look at horses, Palomino.
It's interesting because in the movie it's just like them sipping it from glasses. So now they're taking it like that step like next. It's like I'm gonna sip it from a bowl and a spoon.
Why?
Tomato based.
Special horse. We go down to the fairground. She's like,
Forget him like he's the
back crumpled up. And I tell her, when he goes to work, he's got used all up out of the horse. This is what happens.
Nothing but relentless questions at that age.
That's right. Tell her this is like.
That's interesting. They have used vampires as a drug addict trope pretty often.
True, but I feel like this is like a whole nother.
Careful, Moshe. You're beginning to frighten me.
So I look at my daughter's tear-stained face.
He's literally acting like he's high for the first time, and I fucking love it. It's hilarious.
International Harvester Farm. Go ahead and take that. I come in handy. So I am talking about gas-powered, open-geared beasts of burden.
He never changed his clothes. He's got blood all over him. Nobody notices.
Both of them.
We are here to talk about a farm.
Oh, they've literally still just done. It's the same night as them, like completely.
They literally just dumped him and walked the street. Like, okay, who's next?
I love this.
You're sweet.
I knew it. I knew it.
Wow.
The neck, right the neck area. You don't bite the blood. You suck it. Yes. Yes, that's good.
You're talking to Dilly.
Oh my God, I love this.
For our next cup, I'm thinking Persian. Our best, maybe. We certainly need a more efficient way of reading the waste. The first time is the most unwieldy. Soon you'll be a natural. You come to enjoy it. Its variations. It's a little surprising.
Gotta go home.
This is your home now, Louis. Breathe.
I gotta collect money from the cribs.
I have all the money we need. Breathe.
Yeah, it's like
Go see Grace and Paul.
Oh dear.
He's fucking here, me.
Oh.
I need to go home.
You're going to find that very difficult.
yeah.
Oh, I love the way that fucking looks. Yes.
Oh, it's like ashes.
Yes.
I love it.
sun gives light to everything but us. I should have told you that. The life of a vampire has its challenges.
Oh shit.
And its rewards.
Oh my, that looks horrible.
Music, culture, cuisine, shipping yards, conventioneers, thrill-seeking tourists, far flung from their homes, the laissez-faire attitude of the local police force. Oh yes, perfect setting for a vampire home. Vampire romance.
I ain't sleeping in there.
We'll get to your house soon enough.
He's getting all undressed to get in bed. They've never.
An extraordinary one.
Okay.
Have a rest.
It's okay. You can be on top.
I can't.
Hell, the bender. He rushed me headlong through the encounter as if it was something to put behind us. Death.
It makes perfect sense.
Coming out on the side. Too many firsts for one night.
Coming out? You robbed a daughter of her father. Maybe a pet pony. How's sexuality play in that?
It's a complicated question, Daniel. And we shouldn't conflate it with the salesman's death.
Humor me.
To satisfy your fixation. Being transformed by Lestat. Being desired by him, bedding down with him, was an overture of sorts to that side of my nature.
The shame of queer theorists everywhere.
I got in that coffin of my own free will. In the quiet dark. We were equals.
It's a self-realization
White
moment.
master, black student, but equal in the quiet dark.
Robin.
Oh! Yeah.
Just the primary tool one walks away with. That.
Oh, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, that was.
That was exactly.
But this is okay.
Uh-huh.
Grab the 3-ways and roll these repelling. Or repel sample.
Back to the salesman for a sec. Clearly you were haunted by it, the taste of his blood in the back of your throat, up in your gums.
Let me ask you, Danny, do you contemplate the life of the rabbit before you cut it? Or do you simply cut?
This is interesting. This is like a...
Vampires are killers. Apex predators whose all-seeing eyes were meant to give them detachment. The ability to see a human life in its entirety. Not with any mawkish sorrow, but with the thrilling satisfaction of being the end of that life. Having a hand in the divine plan.
Don't expect every reader to swallow that one.
That's the purpose. Our book must be important as much as anything. It was the right line of questioning. I was haunted by the salesman, and as a fledgling vampire, I did not readily take to killing.
So what? I mean, so he brings up the fact, and then what? They just skip over it, or was that his answer?
But about what?
He brings up the fact that, like, oh, so, you know, he's the more dominant one, who's the white one, you're black one, the whole thing. And what does he say to him about it?
I'm assuming what he just said is his answer.
But they're talking more about, like, because he switched questions. He's like, all right, subject change. And he asked him about, like, how he felt about killing the salesman. Well, no, he didn't blank over it. It was just like, he's like, how the hell is that coming out? And he was just like, I mean, no, because that's what he says before that. So he says, like, taking the time to be with him, go out and do all this. Yeah, it was rushed through, but then you lay down in bed with him and shit, and then you feel like it's not, I mean, yeah, you feel like equals in that moment, but I guess it's like a self-realization. Yeah, he's already realized that he's gay, but like, this is, you can realize something, but then when you actually go and do it for the first time, you're like, oh, this
totally
is
different.
This is real.
Really,
this is
realizing
like real.
something and then living the realization.
Yeah, and I mean, that's anybody.
Different things. So
that's anybody. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah. But then, like, I don't know.
But I also feel like
whatever.
Watching it and having him say, like, especially about coming out, it's almost, I kind of almost feel like he's, because of the time period we're in, like, for us, it's just like, oh, okay. But back then, it was so much bigger.
What? The difference in their skin tone?
No, just for everything.
Everything.
Was so
literally.
Much bigger. Yeah.
Literally.
So it's like, to be talking to a white man and he's like, okay, like, that's not really that big of a deal. But it's like, but no, it was. And you're not having that realization.
I started learning English and I'm bored. Every word I feel like a doorknob falling out of my mouth. Suppose I had the powers of stars.
Yeah, the folks say the second language.
But when I started dreaming English, that's when I embraced it. And now I have English consonants to thank for this astonishing journey.
These are nightmares I'm having to start, not dreams. Ben, how's your arm?
Is it healing properly? You might need a proper doctor, my friend.
Yeah, I'm just fine. You let me know if you need a doctor. There is something, Mr. Delight. New gaming house you're fixing on for the alderman. I want to manage it. I'm good with people. I'm good with numbers. I'll take it over film. Much obliged.
He's lying, you know.
Didn't figure him a bean counter.
No, he wants the job so he can steal from you. Overcharged for drinks and women. Not enough for you to notice, but enough to make him good extra. He calls that.
And you know that because you got in his head just now.
Vampires can read minds mostly.
Right. And you gonna sit on that skill for how long? You gonna make me beg?
Yes.
One might think the ability to read a mind a most useful gift, but in reality it's quite mundane. I figured I can do it most days.
Is that right?
Every human thought boils down to three things. I want food, I want sex, I want to go home. You see that man right there? I want you to peel away every sound until you find his heartbeat. Now hold the heartbeat. You hear his lungs licking and flooding air. His mind is just another bodily sound.
Day and a half since my last meal.
Mind is just another bodily sound. I love that.
What can we eat food?
I want food. Shall we?
It's not cheating with a woman, because I can't get pregnant.
I want sex. This town would be so violent.
That's not.
I'll give it a moment.
Well, just go home. Hold up. Wait, I saw little flashes now in his house.
Yes. You'll see as your powers grow, you can see their thoughts like a...
That's interesting. That's different from the book and the movie.
Monotonous picture shows. It's a very distracting gift, the petty musings of meat.
Peel back on me then. What am I thinking right now?
Mm-mm.
But it's a change that would make sense.
Tell me yourself.
To leave him in the very
In the dark is the show.
passive way that Louis was in the book, you would have that argument. But to show that his powers are just as equal as his, there's a difference. And it's a good difference.
You're not one of them anymore, fledgling. You chase after phantoms of your former self. I'll break you on it.
My unwillingness to separate from humanity was a constant struggle in my vampiric existence. I felt it was essential to maintain ties, but it was getting more difficult.
Yeah. Girls up at 8. We'll only be here now. Let's see this late room. Sonora's entrance for the Christmas tree. Ain't gonna miss anything.
Look what the wind blew in.
Mama, you remember the star?
They're gonna bring those tiny sunnies back in.
I don't remember inviting him, but please take your overdressed self and have a fun time.
I see you have a banjo band in your front yard.
Mm-hmm.
Is that necessary?
It's half a mile away. Don't come see your family for half a season. Don't come back for your son.
Haven't heard a knock on my door.
Why the hell would I want to come see you when you just told me that I'm the reason my brother's in hell? So fuck you. Parents.
He's getting his fingernails done. And glasses. Something certainly men like him do.
Uh-huh.
Our doc says I gotta wear them from now forward. Sensitive eyes. You seen Grace about?
You need to explain why you know these things to people. Be like, I can tell from you looking at my face and stuff like that.
No, that's black people for you. Like you're like, oh, well, I wouldn't come. No, black people like that. They gonna say some stuff and you don't show up. Why you didn't show up?
Only twins.
You a fool, Dr. Love. Oh, I miss you, Louie.
Yeah.
You hearing me? Look at me, Louie. Take them glasses off and look at your baby sister. Your eyes. Like a church window.
Same eyes, same me.
Different you. Better you, I'd say. You hide from me this long again, I'll hunt you down and snap you sideways.
I got you something.
Oh no, Louie. What is this? I don't need your money.
It ain't for you, it's for the babies.
Stop it with the babies. One's gonna be plenty.
It's 2 of them.
Well, just coming in then. That ain't the businessman you want. So, how's it in the district? Must be good if this here's extra.
Now, I know it's hard to see it now, but Mr. Fairman gonna have himself the most profitable sporting house this side of Basin Street.
The alderman certainly thinks so, but then you have to ask yourself why he sent me.
New business? New partner? No, sir, Mr. Carlo, I do the same thing myself.
You got your own personal attorney, do you, boy?
No, sir. But then I'm not an alderman, am I?
No. You're his partner. These balconies have to be decorative only. Building codes allow those for residents, not for business.
That's only if you call it a pocket.
What are you calling it?
Fire escape.
That's clever, my boy. It's very clever.
Right. Dozen rooms, proper acoustics for musicians. Good for those waiting. That's to drown out the business behind the wall.
Yes. Well, you really do have a mind in that head of yours, don't you?
I know some of the finishes seem petty heavy. There's the alderman's name going out there. So every detail has to shop exclusively.
Yeah, bright and industrious, huh? I trust you'll see in all stages of construction as well?
Yes, sir.
Fire escape. Now, I must say I had my doubts, but
I want to slap
I
that
mean,
man.
15%. You truly are an exceptional Negro.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, fire escape.
Exceptional Negro. Thank you, sir. It was the call and response of my entire life. I had let them talk to me like that so long, I stopped hearing it. Yes, sir. Of course, sir. Subject verb agreement, sir. Smile, nod, yes, sir. They all came from the same organ inside me. An organ unknown to science at the time, because what scientists would look for an organ found only in black men who used their weakness to rise. But I wasn't a man anymore. I was something else. I had powers now. Decades of rage to process, and it was both random and unfortunate the man picked that night to dabble in fuckery. If not him, would have been the next one.
This was your man's escort I sent to the States.
I was hungry.
Stone's throw from your place of business. What were you thinking? Disrespecting me. How did he do that?
He told me I did a good job.
That's the shitty part. That's the shitty part. There it is. That's why I don't see what the fucking problem is.
Oh my god.
What's the problem? You told me I did a good job. See, that's beautiful.
Yep.
That's
Hold
good
on,
writing
I gotta
right
rewind
there.
Because you just don't understand.
No.
You would never understand.
And unfortunate the man picked that night to dabble in fuckery. Not him. Would have been the next one.
This was your man's escort I sent to the States.
I was hungry.
Stone's throw from your place of business. What were you thinking? Disrespecting me. How did he do that?
He told me I did a good job.
You are a library of confusion.
You are a library of confusion.
That is such a good read. I'm gonna use that in the future.
French, queer, half queer, mostly queer. What is it?
Non-discriminating.
I love it.
The situation we got here is what I'm saying.
A couple of birds, priests, governments, people say fine. Most likely kid fiddlers. But this was an important man in town. The police will be looking for this man, Fletcher.
That's why we got this piece here.
Your duty is to restraint, Fletcher.
You need to stop using that word right now, because it sounds a little like slave. Well, that's what it fucking sound like.
Go
That's
there.
what it feel like sometimes.
Okay. Okay. Oh.
Yes. Have these conversations. They're separate coffins. This is even better.
Look how different they are. Like, you can tell his is all brand new and his is really old.
For the record, if disrespect was done to you, I would have killed him myself.
Thinking, hey.
I'm sorry.
Stick out.
I want to buy the Fair Play Saloon. That's ambitious. You don't want to help, I do it myself.
Ridiculous of you to mix human and vampire business. It always ends. But how can I stop you?
How can I say no to you?
Oh my god. Such a married couple.
It is.
So ridiculous.
It's very much me and Dan. Get pissed at each other, yell for like a minute, and then like 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
What do you want?
You might have told a lot of your climbing, Mr. Dulac. And I was now the owner of the brightest club in the district. My club, my room. I opened the doors to anyone with money to burn. I paid the staff better, paid the band better, all the while helping those who had been with me down the block to better themselves. Miss Williams,
Mr. Dulac.
and it was a pointless point of pride that I paid back every cent I borrowed from the stock. It was everything I had ever wanted or wished for, and it doubled nicely as a revolving door of prey.
You fellas know where I can find the Fair Play Saloon? About 5 years late.
So how long are you in town for?
I'm just
From 1912 to 1917, I made a mountain of money, enough to retire and be buried like a pharaoh.
Damn.
But in the essential duties of the executor in charge, I had been most delinquent.
I named him Benjamin. Benny. Did you even meet the twins?
Oh, ma'am.
Man. I looked that over to you.
No, I mean, I haven't had the pleasure. We need more of the family. They're so busy with work, you know.
Him?
You know my situation.
How are things with you? Is the star still right?
Yes, it's Lestat.
Got some gumbo on the stove still. Tastes great this evening. Let me fix you some.
I'm good.
Oh, you nephew.
Mm-hmm.
He's the quiet one, this one. The other two. The twins? Lord help us.
Talk about test of restraint. That would happen.
Smelling the baby. That's no, don't do it. Don't do it.
I was like, that's a totally different baby smell. He's smelling.
Yes, exactly. All that new blood. Untainted blood.
You should take that. I'm sure Mama would love to see you. Let's see if it goes back down.
If you would shut the. Oh. It's so sweet. Oh. Don't. No. Put the teeth back.
I no longer kill. My last victim was in the year 2000.
Oh, okay.
I want our readers to understand that.
Okay. Did you eat the baby?
I sit here, a master of my instincts.
That's not answering the question.
And what about the others out there? Have they mastered theirs?
Just the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are slaves to the blood. Exhausted from decades, centuries of hiding, giddy to increase their numbers.
2 questions. Did you eat the baby?
Thank you.
And is the pandemic the opening they've been waiting for?
Pandemic, the unraveling of political foundations.
And you know this how? You guys have a thread on 8chan?
I hear them. Our thoughts can travel thousands of miles to one another. I can stand out on my balcony, close my eyes, and their plotting speaks to me. One of them, a brute in Madagascar, called it the Great Conversion.
The Great Conversion? Well, good luck with that, because most people I know like to play a little ball in the afternoon, or maybe going down to the beach, catching a few rays.
Yes. What on earth would a meth-addicted son of a coal miner in West Virginia want with eternal life?
Did you eat the baby?
Or the Arab youth whose family were wiped
Did you
from
eat the
existence
baby?
by a Western drone? No, I'm sure you're right. Hello, Demick.
Hey.
But did you eat the baby?
Yeah. Didn't know like Dubai. Comfortable?
He's American.
You like Dubai?
I haven't had the time to sightsee.
Go to Kite Beach. It's good. Kites.
Kites.
Thank you, Demick. See you soon.
So I love the different courses that he's having. That I am.
The fact that he tapped his neck.
So he had like a blood soup and then a blood bunny, like appetizer, and then a man for his third course. Yeah. Like I love that. Yeah. He left the baby on the floor. He probably dropped the baby in haste to get the fuck out of there, and that's why the baby's crying.
I was ready to tear into him. I'm never gonna get control over him.
You've been skipping meals lately.
Oh.
It's my nephew.
I have to stop seeing him. I grow fearful of your bad and already. It's a rite of passage for all of us. If you love your family as an
sooner or later they're gonna be getting older, and you're not.
I don't have a family of my own, am I? No sons, no daughters. Throw me in the incinerator. Make another one.
Waste that would be. After centuries walk this earth and can report, you have no twin. No one as angry, as stubborn, as unaccommodating, as maddening.
So like trash to me.
He said so depressed. Sound like trash to me. Jesus Christ, haven't we all felt like Louis?
Here's an idea. Let's take a holiday. What about Rome?
Rome, Italy?
Would you prefer Rome, Wisconsin?
Just pick up and go to Rome. I got a business to run.
Leave the Azalea to the capable hands of Miss Bricktop and follow the African one.
How you gonna get coffees across the Atlantic?
It can be an inconvenience, but not impossible, obviously.
Well, how'd you get the ship to train the cab?
Change rivers can be jarring, I'll give you that.
Well, maybe there's a deaf blind porter we can hire and kill when we get to the hotel.
Well, I've been thinking the Inglaterra. Imagine hunting between the Cafe Greco and the Spanish Steps. But you've made your problems. Pity. I'll just have to settle for Rome coming to us. Not another opera, Donizetti's comic masterpiece, Don Pasquale. I was an acquaintance of his, and I saw the premiere at the Salvador 73 years ago, and I remember it like it was yesterday.
I almost think my nephew was died.
He don't give a shit.
Right.
The orchestra should be an excellent form. I have a private box, and I have tuxedos.
He's like, bitch, we going.
I've been neglectful of our romance. The steadfast pupil deserves a diviner.
He had a way about him. Those first years, Lestat. Preternaturally charming, occasionally thoughtful.
Occasionally thoughtful.
My murderer, my mentor, my lover, and my maker. All of those things at once. He didn't choose me to be his doormat. I knew he enjoyed it when I fought back, but there was present a kind of worship on my part. The earth beneath me always felt liquid. The status I enjoyed in Storyville did not extend itself to the operators and patrons of the French Opera House on Bourbon and Toulouse. We did what we always did to avoid conflicts there. I performed as his valet, walked a pace behind him, took his overcoat once we found our seats, remained standing in the back of the box until the lights went down, and only joined next to him once the overture had begun. Again, he knew that I could be about him, so that as I sat there trying to practice restraint, simmering in my indignation, Lestat seized it as opportunity to disarm me.
There is one thing about being a vampire that I most fear above all else, and that is loneliness. You can't imagine the emptiness of weight, stretching out for decades at a time. You take this feeling away from me. We must stay together and take precaution and never part.
Toxicity!
Can't be the only ones.
How many vampires? Not many, I'm afraid. Maybe
100.
The touring production of Don Pascal.
I hate it. I'm always that person that's like, yeah, that's me.
And music. That was where Lestat separated man from food. Music pierced his damned soul. And any humans who were involved in the creation of it existed on an elevated plane in his eyes. I was moved.
Oh my God, he looked like a kid.
Mm-hmm. And this woman sang.
I hope we get to see him play.
Oh. They bet. I mean, if they're going to keep doing this, it's going to be like a thing.
Yeah.
There was one issue, however, that threatened to pop the bubble of our Italian holiday. And that was the tenor playing Ernesto. To be kind, he did not live in the Sopranos' vocal stratosphere. And Lestat was unamused.
Lestat's like, I'm gonna fuck it up.
Something like that can make it into a stage. I understand they're a road company, but they clean talent from outside gas stations.
Lestat used to be into the theater, so I mean, this is not.
He's marking where homie is missing the mark.
It didn't help matters that the majority of the audience didn't seem to notice. And so Lestat oscillated his disdain between the tenor and the Swamp brothers in the seats below. The curtain fell like a guillotine, and Lestat leapt to his feet in mock appreciation, which could mean only one thing.
Oh, God.
The hunt was on.
Uh-oh.
I stood in the lobby bar, nursing my complicity, as rounds were bought and fake praise was lavished upon the mark. And I was surprised by a wave of nausea coming over me.
Oh.
Here I was, 6 years his pupil, and it was no different than the tractor salesman. This poor soul was someone's son, someone's brother, and he was to be butchered for what? An offending note. He set the tenor down, opened up the score in front of him, and sang as it was written. And you could see all the doubts the young man had about his art, about himself, exposed on his knees.
He's like, this is the note. This is the note.
Lestat is a
this
Virgo.
Is the note.
Lestat is a Virgo.
This is the note. Oh my God.
Before I kill you, I'm gonna make sure you know this the right way. Oh my God! If this, my ex-husband.
So no more of your sound can pollute this world.
Why do you do this, Lestat?
Well, I like to do it. I enjoy it.
Well, I don't. You don't have to humiliate him. Well, I don't say that you have to enjoy it. Kill him swiftly if you have to, but do it. Embrace what you are. You are a killer, Louis.
took you to the couch tonight.
I was in denial. In bringing death, Lestat was an artist. He had cut the man tenderly so that he could not call for help, but also so that his death was slow, meditative.
That was like, you made me sit through hours of you singing. You don't sit through hours of me drinking your blood.
And this time they came with vision.
My ears were tortured, so now you shall be tortured.
Scenes from an Italian childhood, the Easter pageant in a mountain village, an afternoon with his father on the sea, watching the fishing boats slowly encircle a school of tuna. Something about a wet piece of bread in his pocket.
If you listen, if you finally submit to your nature, you will be filled, look, with all the life you can hold. You will see death in all its beauty. Life as it is only known at the very point of death. You alone of all creatures can see death with that intimate. You alone, under the right moon, can strike like the hand of God.
And I'll say it for a third time, and no more. He had a way about him. And I was still very much under his power. We would drain the tenor for hours that night. Lestat completely enthralled. Myself pretending to be.
Faking the orgasm.
Afraid to disappoint. Lestat was wrong. I was never going to be a natural. I was never going to savor the aftertaste. I was a shame-ridden second, a fumbling, despondent killer, botched vampire.
It's interesting. After all the blood, he gets ice cream too.
Yeah.
I try to have a human dish once a week.
Okay.
To maintain the thread.
Interesting.
There was an offhanded remark in your memoir about this dessert. I hope you don't mind.
It's interesting. I remember reading that, like, I think, like, if they ate real food, it made them sick. But I mean, that's easy. Yeah, it's no big deal.
Paste, chalk, like soap.
Like soap, like cilantro.
This is the dessert I had after I proposed to my first wife. After I got my shit together. We were in Paris. A little cafe on the Rue Servandoni, up the way from Saint-Sulpice.
I know. It's a beautiful street.
Alice, half of her eyebrow was blonde, like a mutt. She always dyed it back to brown. I liked it when she left it alone.
You know, I find it interesting. Like, I get why.
The art in the background on his side, it's smaller, but it's a roiling sea with a ship on it. And his, it's a much bigger, longer piece of art, and it's all black and white, and it shows like death. It looks like something that's been featured in one of Anne's books. Even I wonder, I want to go look at it again and see if I can find. But it's like, it's very interesting, the art that's on the wall in between the two of them as they finish in this very beautiful kind of I see you moment between the two of them at the very end.
Okay. I was too busy thinking about the fact that they eating ice cream. Because I think it's interesting, like, for the most part, most, like, in the stories of vampires, they have no taste, but...
Yeah, he says it tastes like chalk. Like, tastes like nothing.
Yeah, but everything else is heightened.
Yeah.
I almost wish that their taste buds would be.
Their taste buds for blood are.
Yeah, but
they could taste like everything in your blood. I remember reading a book. I can't remember what the book was, but it was like a teenager's like vampire book or whatever. And it was like a group of kids all going out to like go hunting together. It was like a YA book or whatever. And them talking about like getting homeless people. And I forget, like they one of them prefers heroin addicts over coke addicts because heroin's spicy or something like that, like the way that they describe the way the blood tastes. And I was like, that's funny as shit.
No, but I just wish they would be able to taste food like that. Yeah, I feel like that should be also an enhancement.
But okay,
because think about it, because if it's heightened, then like for instance, there's this movie with Charlize Theron where she's been alive for so long, she has a piece of chocolate and she could pinpoint all the ingredients in it, where it's from. And I think that would have been amazing to be like a vampire and I know specifically where this, you know what I mean?
Yes, but at the same time, I find like that is probably one of that's a human superpower basically, because we don't have anything like crazy sharp teeth or sharp claws, or we're not crazy fast, and we don't have any like hides or fur. We don't have anything like, but we can communicate. And we can notice things with our brain. And I think because of the brain shit, we appreciate flavors so much more because we're the only ones who cook our food. But if you think of it from an animalistic point of view, and vampires are kind of like the combination of humans with this animalistic urge that gets kind of like, if you think of them as like a wild cat, they're able to pounce and prowl and their pupils get dilated to be able to see in the dark. They're a predator. So I'm sure because I know dogs love ice cream and shit like that, but I mean, like, I wonder, it just makes me wonder if major cats, like panthers or lions or anything, can taste major differences in food.
I would think so. I just find it interesting that everything is heightened for the most part, but that one thing.
Right?
And it's kind of shady.
They can't have everything good.
They don't. They freaking can't walk in the sun. So at least let me taste my food.
Yeah, but I mean, there's ways of getting around that shit. Sure. You know, I just don't understand why FPS like if they got like sunblock. Like why
now we're starting to go subgenre of certain like vampires. Because what? Oh my god, what was freaking Blade? When Frost put on the
that's what I mean. Good stuff, man. Blade's
like
great.
Dripping off of him. Yeah. No, but I definitely love the way that they showed him burning in the sun.
Yes.
100% my favorite now. Like, compared to every other way I've seen vampires die, the fact that he's literally being blown away, but it's also burning, it's just like, oh, that sucks to die like that.
Yeah.
Like,
the fact that he's like pouring milk all over himself, I loved that. I mean, it's shitty. That's really bad. But like, holy shit. It's like, make it stop. Yeah. And that makes sense. That's weird because like don't some people put like milk or buttermilk on burns?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. And he just happens to be standing out of the milk.
So I thought that was interesting. I like that.
But also, so like, because we were talking about homosexuality and vampirism the last time, and you were like, I don't understand, like obviously there's a connection. We've seen a connection throughout this Hollywood trope all the time, but like where did it come from?
Yeah, the origins of it. Because I just find it's one of those things like we were talking about with, you know, the mom who makes like the roast or whatever, and she always cuts off the ends, but she doesn't know why she cuts off the ends until they start tracking back and they realize, well, the grandmother cut off the ends because she only had this one pot that it could fit in, so she had to, and they just kept doing it because. So it's like, okay, where did this stuff originate from? Why are we going down this path? And why has nobody questioned it? And we just kept going with it.
Well, that's when I did like some digging around. I found a few different videos and I sent them over to Janae because I found them really interesting.
Yeah.
Because on top of giving us like a bit of a backstory and a history of homosexuality and vampirism in Hollywood,
yeah,
as well as the writing of it and such, it also gave us some backstory into Anne Rice and the lifestyle that she was in and living through, and the problems. I mean, I always knew that her daughter had died at a very young age and that she wrote this book as a way of processing her grief. But I mean, I guess I never think of like if people have gay friends or not. Like, I just assume people know people. Like, I don't. Like, I don't think of stuff like that. But then when I'm watching, when I was watching the thing, it said that like she had very bohemian life, lived in San Francisco in the 60s, very, very surrounded with like homosexual life and a lot of friends in a lot of different walks and shit. And I was like, so that makes perfect sense, because she didn't even realize that she was writing something that was like a homosexual mecca, like in the late 70s. Like, oh, you wrote this for us. And she was like, no, but
I just wrote a story.
No, but yeah, okay, totally. Sure, yeah.
But I think that goes to show when you live in a certain type of environment and that's your normal, but to people outside of it, it's not normal. So they're going to pick up on different things and being like, wait, well, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Why is this like this? This is it. Or why certain people kind of just go with it. It's like, oh yeah, this is normal. This is like, why are you making a big deal out of it?
But not forever, but for a long ass time, especially in modern literature, anything that has to do with, homosexuality or same sex or sexual identity or anything like that, it's very written in subtext.
Yeah.
Like, and she lived with her best friend for the rest of her life. That kind of thing. That kind of thing. So to take these two things, so like you have literary people, like you have all of this like subtext towards homosexuality, and then on top of it you have Hollywood taking this. No, sorry, I'm skipping. Then you have vampirism in books like Dracula and others and such, who use the act of sucking blood as a euphemism and a subtext for sex, just in general. And then you get to the point where movies are being made, and because of the political and the social context of everything at that time, they can't just be blatant with homosexuality and sexual gender identification or whatever through media. So
especially back then,
so right, in the 1920s and the 30s. So it's much more about subtext. So how do you do subtext visually? Well, a woman can't be kissing a woman, but she could be sucking the blood of another woman.
Yep.
So that whole thing, like, and it's just been this long Hollywood trope of like vampires and homosexuality go hand in hand. But again, it's like what you were saying, like we just keep doing the same thing, and it's just like,
can we?
But sometimes it's like, why?
Yeah.
But
it's not that I don't like it or I don't want it. I'm just like,
we're just questioning it because it makes you look into
just a different. It's the same thing Hollywood has been doing with white male actor lead role. Why do we have other things we can do, and also like our lives have changed. We don't have to do so much in subtext anymore.
Oh, for sure. Exactly.
So it's like,
that's why this is a wonderful opportunity to take a book from the late 70s with lots of subtext that was then created into a movie in the 90s that had lots of subtext. And then now you take a television show that can give it the room to breathe.
Yes.
But it's in a time period when you don't need all that fucking subtext.
Right. Exactly.
So let's punch you in the face with it. And I love it.
I know what's going on. Just tell me. just tell me. I need you to like, hey.
That's why the memes were amazing. The first memes, like the thing that they put out, like when Norm Macdonald on SNL was talking about the original movie, saying it's not gay enough. And then, which is a real quote, which is, I mean, he's making a joke, but hilarious.
Yeah.
And then they superimposed it with a picture of the new TV show, and it says "gay enough."
Yep.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So we have another episode of Interview with the Vampire, which I think we'll cut this out and we'll just start up a new one so that there'll be separate videos. And then we also have to go through House of the Dragon. But I have to pick up my daughter from school at 2:15, so we have to.
We'll do an episode. We'll be back later.
Yeah. We'll do one episode and then we'll do the other stuff. All right. Peace.